Let's talk about breaking down a new property. I recently went on a trip where I was hunting terrain that I'm very unfamiliar with, just like a like big mesquite flats with either briars in it or grass. Just big huge flats or big gulches, and a gulch is just something like a big canyon, a huge ditch. Just imagine a miniature Grand Canyon that. And y'all that know me know I'm from here in Georgia, where we hunting a lot of swamp bottoms, big river bottoms, vast swamps, and up in the mountains, big deciduous forest up there in the Appalachian Mountains. And this hunt I was excited to go on because I was going to be able to do some actual spot and stalking, where I'm sitting on one side of these gulches with the binoculars watching what the deer are doing and trying to get up a plan and make a play on them. But we had about 1,000 acres to hunt, and basically one afternoon, one full day, and about 3/4 of the day, the third day, to learn it and try to make something happen. And all this with traditional bows. So our odds were really low. But I just wanted to talk about some things I did that were good, and some things I did that I could have definitely improved on, probably had a different outcome. But the main thing is I'd done some cyber scouting of the area we were going to be hunting with the Google Earths and the onX app. And when we get out there and see the area we're actually going to be hunting, it all kind of looks the same. So deciding where to hunt, what do you look for? Everything looks the same. You're out of your comfort zone. It goes back to the basics. What are you going to look for? And to me, it's food, water, cover. And that's pretty basic hunting knowledge there. So water is huge out there, and they have water tanks scattered throughout this ranch we were hunting. I went to look at the water tanks. There was some good shot opportunities there around that thing, with a compound actually sitting on the close to the water. There was some 30-40 yard shots. Been no problem for a compound. But for a trad guy, I seen right away it wasn't going to work for me. So what I did is I backed off. I just started following these trails from the water down into thick stuff, and I just found where a bunch of them kind of intersected. Which, I mean, literally, there is a spaghetti run of these trails. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. And I found an area where a bunch of those intersected, and got in there that afternoon. Literally a triangle. One right there. Right here. One right here. I think I found me a good place for tomorrow, or maybe this afternoon. So right there, I made the right choice. I found that, you know, junction of all those trails and got in there. Everything's going right. Wind's good. the deer got on me so quick. I never saw them coming. I mean, they slipped in there. I couldn't hear them, couldn't see them. They got in there on me so quick that literally I saw deer coming to me. And I reached up and grabbed my bow, but what I didn't realize is there were already a couple right there on me. As soon as I picked that bow off the little limb I had it hung on, busted. So about now I'm starting to realize these deer have a set of eyes like a wild turkey, and it's going to be quite the challenge to get one in close and get drawn on it without being busted. Now that I've got one afternoon and one morning under my belt, I want to get up on the gulch and spend a little time glassing. And it didn't take long to realize midday these axis deer like to get up on the sides of these gulches and down in the gulch in the shade, but I was really seeing a good many deer congregated in shady spots on the sides of the gulch. And I was amazed at how they'd take up every little inch of shade. And if you saw a big shady patch and you glassed it, most, odds are there's going to be a deer in it. So I sat up there a few hours and just watching deer and seeing what they're doing. I noticed some deer moving up to these shady spots and leaving them, kind of taking the same paths, and took note of it. Right there. Another whole wad of them. There's another 20, 30. Right in the middle of the screen in that shaded spot. So once I glassed up the deer over there on the side of the gulch, I decided to go around, get the wind right, and drop down inside the gulch. And as soon as I get in the bottom of it, I bust more deer up, and they set those off, put those on alert that are up there in the shade. So I'm starting to think now I probably need to be getting down in these areas. I want to ambush these deer really early in the morning, hopefully before they get back in there, returning to the gulch, and while they're in transition from that watering, feeding to bedding, I probably need to get in there and hunker down. But by now, by the time I'm getting all this figured out, I'm almost out of time on the hunt. So it's pretty much back to burning boot leather, hoping to get lucky and slip up on some in the absolute perfect conditions, with all the conditions being in my favor. One thing I definitely learned on this trip is the axis deer has the eyes of a turkey or eagle. I mean, their vision is insane. I got picked off a couple times sitting in a shady spot on one side of the gulch, and I know they saw me because there's no way they smelt me over there. The trade winds was, the wind, it wasn't the problem. They spotted me. I think, in the future I'll spend a lot more time in the glass trying to pattern them and slip in these areas when I don't think they're there, and just kind of hunker down and wait on them. It's a pretty big learning curve to go from Georgia to over there hunting, but I had plenty of times where I got close to them. I just couldn't get it done. I did fire one shot at one that had already spooked and bounced out there and stopped and give me another shot, but I got a deflection. Arrow passed just in front of his chest. But great hunt, great experience. Can't wait to do it again. I'm dying to get back out there and have a rematch with the Axis deer of Hawaii.